music, bro. That's why I'm checking out music. Anyways, Brockhampton broke up, yo, or they're kind of like breaking up. This is a video by Alfo Media. Shout out to him, bro. I love his videos. But they're kind of like breaking up. I haven't been keeping up with them very consistently like I was in 2018, 2019, even early 2020. But this one is still unexpected and still kind of, it is a loss. A lot of regular hip hop heads that just aren't into anything besides what we just listened to. Um, you know, they're kind of taking this as a W, but it's really not, bro. At the end of the day, it's an L. I think at this point, it's safe to say they're the best boy band, since probably like before One Direction. Because they've been saying since One Direction, but it's kind of before now at this point. Like their discography surpassed One Direction's. I can't name 5 One Direction songs. I can name every Brockhampton album.
This is definitely a weird feeling right now. For those of you who have been with me from the start, you'll know that I essentially came up on YouTube as a Brockhampton stan account. I'm not saying that if they didn't exist that I would have never grown my own platform, but me making videos about each member of the band for going on 5 years ago now, that is how I grew my platform. And while I haven't really listened to them in a while, I didn't care when the latest album dropped. I'm just
Me
not
either.
the fan
I did not listen to Roadrunner. I heard a couple songs from it. They were good, but I didn't like go out of my way to listen to it at all because I didn't expect this.
Of them that I once was. This is still oddly emotional for me. This is not some organized video essay dissecting the rise and fall of Brockhampton. This is more of a diary entry, reacting to the news and getting some things off my chest. More than anything, I think their whole trajectory and where they've ended up is just sad and disappointing. You can't help but think what could have been with so many different aspects of their story. That initial spark that they had when the music videos for Saturation 1 were dropping with Face, Heat, Gold, Star, and Lamb, that was lightning in a bottle. The amount of hype that I had listening to these unbelievable songs, reveling in the awe of this collective and all of its moving parts, going back and learning the lore of Kevin's solo stuff, watching All American Trash, the origins of the group in general.
All American Trash is good.
That was a moment. This might sound dramatic and like I'm overreacting in hindsight, but I don't think I had been as excited for the rise of an artist, discovering them, watching them grow, and so on, since 2011, seeing Kendrick drop Section 80, Tyler and Haji going on Jimmy Fallon, etc. So in like 6+ years, in my opinion, this was the most exhilarating launch.
It's a little bit different for me. I feel like for me, there was a period, like two, I guess almost 3 SoundCloud eras ago with, Playboy Cardi and Lil Uzi and X and Ski, that whole era, that whole time period, even Lil Pump at the time. It was cool to kind of see them get big, but like I was more on that wave than Brockhampton. I didn't get into Brockhampton until, like I said, like 2018, but still though, like for a while, it was kind of hard to really get into a new artist and really enjoy seeing where they would go. You know what I mean?
In music. And no matter what would come after, good or bad, in 2017, listening to Saturation over and over again, learning the musical personalities of each member, waiting for Saturation 2, then being completely in awe that they were able to do it again, then repeating the process until Saturation 3 and being completely in awe that they were able to do it again, all within the span of like 8 months. I can't even put into words what experiencing that was like. With the canceling, allegations for members beyond Amir, the hype fizzling out, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in general, recently a lot of people look at Brockhampton, their fans, and the fact that, ooh, I used to like them, isn't that so embarrassing? The group is sort of a meme now, right? Taking all of that stuff into consideration, I can't go without acknowledging how...
I think after Sugar blew up on TikTok, and then there was a remix and the video came out or whatever, that's kind of when it became whack to really rock with them, because so many new people started listening to them just because of that one song off of Ginger. And it was like, that's how it is with a lot of artists, except I feel like for them it was the worst. Because there's a lot of artists that like it became kind of embarrassing to like now because of TikTok. Like Cardi, a lot of his stuff blew up on TikTok, and it's just weird now. But it'd be like that. But I feel like with Brockhampton, it was just like completely just sad to like be a big fan after that.
Amazing that first year of the Saturation trilogy was. Genuinely some of the most high quality albums of the late 2010s, some of the best rap albums of the 2010s, all the music videos and short films and everything. Their whole sound became pretty influential, and they had plenty of copycats originate soon after, and so on and so on. But there was the time before Amir got kicked out and after Amir got kicked out. That's the way it is, and there's no way around that. At the time, I was hopeful that the band would be able to prosper and keep on making good music without him, which they did. Let us be clear. Iridescence, Ginger, and Roadrunner are all above average albums, with each one featuring genuinely great songs. So it's not like Amir leaving meant that they couldn't make good music anymore, because that is absolutely not the case. But still, there was the time before Amir got kicked out and after Amir got kicked out. In the past couple of days, I've been talking to friends about the whole situation, and the phrase that keeps coming up is wasted potential. It's easy to sit here and say, well, were they ever really gonna top Saturation 1, 2, and 3? How were they ever gonna be able to keep up that energy, chemistry, quality, innovation, and so on? But when it comes to musicians that really feel special, growth is typically the norm, right? Let's just use the examples that I had before. I watched Kendrick Lamar drop Section 80, thought he was special and the future of music, and so on. Then he somehow tops himself with Good Kid, Mad City, and I think he might be the greatest rapper ever. Then he tops himself with To Pimp a Butterfly, and yeah, he's probably the greatest rapper ever. When Tyler and Frank both came up, it was like, wow, these mixtapes are unbelievable and so unique, and then we kept watching them make stuff, and look at what they've ended up with. Not to say that anyone in Brockhampton is as special as Kendrick, Tyler, or Frank, but collectively, all of them together and what they were doing, the first thing I saw them do was the Saturation trilogy, and I think that's more impressive than Section 80, or Nostalgia Ultra. Yes, All American Trash came before then, but I'm talking about my own experiences and what I saw as their debut and what put them on the map, blah, 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 blah. All of this is one big what if.
There's only like a real handful of Brockhampton fans that started with All American Trash and like enjoyed it to begin with, and then like became a big fan because of it. It's a really small handful, I feel like.
I'm not saying that they would have gone on to make century-defining albums, but maybe they would have. We don't know what would have happened if the Amir stuff didn't go down and that initial spark died. We don't know. And that's sad. That's what wasted potential is to me and why it keeps popping up. This is not to say that Amir did not deserve getting kicked out and that all of the other members of the band that have allegations against them are great people. All I'm saying is, knowing how excited I was throughout 2017 and how special I knew all of this was, the fact that what happened happened and then nothing was ever quite the same, that sucks. They very well could have been this fluke thing that peaked.
It was kind of like a void. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, not to say that Amir was holding the group together, because he wasn't. But since he left, it was kind of like a void within the group, bro. It really was. And I think that's part of the reason, too, why, other stuff probably didn't work out as well as it could have. Now we are where we're at
with their debuts and stayed together happily for 20 years, making 30 mediocre albums, but we'll never know. I want to tell you this weird little story to help put everything into perspective for me. You know HK, Brockhampton's art guy that made the album covers and whatnot?
Yeah.
I knew him long before 2017 and Brockhampton. Not that we were good friends or something, but I followed him on Twitter way back in 2012 when he went by HK Covers. He only had a few thousand followers, and he would post fan art covers for rappers like Drake, Kanye, and so on. A new album would drop, and I'd be pumped up waiting to see if HK would make a cover for it. When I saw Brockhampton live in some dingy basement in the fall of 2017, I talked with HK for like 10 minutes after the show, and we had this very real human moment of like, wow, look at how far you've come. This is so cool. and then ridiculous ups and downs, and years later, here we are. I think Brockhampton is the ultimate story of the music industry in the age of the internet. A bunch of kids from all across the country meeting on a Kanye fan forum, becoming the hottest thing in independent music, getting signed, then we as an audience watch them implode in real time due to problems with public perception, if that's what you want to call it. We see them try to continue to make their art, work with some absolute legends, and now what? It shows you how fleeting this can be, the power of what's possible in this time, and the ugliness of how you can be exposed once you're in the spotlight, and just how many roads there are in life. Kevin Abstract is obviously the most likely member to thrive as a solo act once the dust settles, and it's so weird thinking about how young these guys still are. Frank Ocean was about how old Kevin is now when he dropped Channel Orange, still years before Blonde. Same thing with Kendrick and Good Kid, Mad City, still years before the age he was when he dropped To Pimp a Butterfly. I have no idea whether all of these guys are gonna fall off the map, if some of them will find success and others are gonna lose everything. I
feel like it's gonna be another Odd Future situation where, you know, a lot of them kind of find their own lanes that may intertwine, may not, you know. But overall, you know, some of them are gonna continue doing what they're doing, some of them aren't. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Because you look at Odd Future right now, you know, I guess the big three, Tyler, Frank, and Earl, they made it. You know, still big, still doing what they love. And there's a lot of other people, you know, that were in Odd Future and were affiliated that are kind of doing their own thing or doing their thing with other people. You know what I mean? Like Sid with the internet, and I think Casey Veggies is still rapping. I don't know, but I feel like a similar situation is gonna happen with Brockhampton. Like Kevin, probably Joba, you know, Barefaced. You know, like they might do their own thing, and then we might get, you know, a Kevin album with like Dom on it. I don't know, bro. Who knows?
No clue what's gonna happen. All I'm thinking about right now is how I felt in 2017, how much has happened in my own life since then, and how long ago all that feels now. Out of a love for theatrics, good poetry, and quoting things when they seem relevant, I will leave you with one of my favorite pieces of writing. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." I am unbelievably curious what everybody thinks of this, so comment down below with your opinions on Brockhampton in general, their story, what they made and where they've ended up, and everything. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at RenshawHS. You can buy my merch, support my Patreon, and thank you again. I'll see you soon.
W video, bro. W video. Alpha Media just doesn't miss though. But this is interesting. I feel like we're gonna see what happens. Like I said, I feel like it's gonna be similar to Odd Future. It might not be three, you know, this big three, because there's a lot more that are, you know, doing their thing. But you know, I feel like it's not completely over. It's just there might be a while we might get another Kevin Abstract album soon. Who knows? It's still crazy though. It's still crazy. This was very unexpected. At least they're still performing at Coachella, and that's it. Hopefully that goes well. You know, kind of end it with a bang. That'd be cool. But it's tough, bro.